Hey there, my name's Curtis Lucas, and you're watching Empire Building. So I wanted to do this video because I know that there's been just a couple of days, we've seen the drop in the price. It's interesting how falling back down to the prices where we're at right now can feel so scary when these used to be the all-time highs. But today something happened that really sets us up quite well, I think, for a new all-time high in Bitcoin. I think we're going to be breaking above $60,000 within the next week. And in my opinion, most likely over the weekend. But one way or another, things are about to get very interesting. So stay tuned, and I'll let you know what I'm predicting for the next couple of weeks. So as most of you know, I don't spend a whole lot of time analyzing charts, doing technical analysis. It's not because I don't know how, it's simply because it's not a huge part of my strategy. As I've often said, or consistently say, buy and hold is your best option to maximize the gains that you're going to get. Trying to predict these kind of moves that we've been seeing can be difficult, but for some, it usually does just seem to work out. If it's been working out for you, let us know down in the comments. Feel free to brag. But for most of us, myself included, I can't time things this well, especially not the tops. Bottoms I'm a lot better at, and that's what we're here to talk about. This is the daily chart for Bitcoin. We've obviously been in a nice healthy uptrend here. We've been forming this trend line. Used to run off this low here, but we formed a new low over here. So it's forming a very nice ascending triangle. And today we just retested the bottom limit of that ascending trend line. So provided this holds, that's a very strong bullish signal. And so far, so good. There's not a whole lot of space left in this triangle, so I suspect there's a good solid chance we might actually break above the $60,000 ceiling and at least retest and hopefully break through the $62,000 mark, sending us into price exploration mode again. And that's when things really are going to start to get interesting. What's even better is, unlike the last time when we were running up here, when we got to the old highs again, we were approaching overbought territory on the RSI. Now, obviously we've had the pullback. We're only at 50 on the RSI. That's neutral. We'll probably be at 60 again once we reach the $60,000 mark. But that gives us a lot of room for the price of Bitcoin to surge. All it needs is a little bit of good news, little catalysts along the way, new buyers that get revealed. I expect this is coming because the fact of the matter is supply is drying up. The outflow on exchanges continues to accelerate. There's just, again, not enough Bitcoin. There's even less now than there was 3 months ago. Miners aren't selling anymore. Certainly not the publicly traded ones. And more institutions have been getting on board. So everyone who's selling now, you know who you're selling to. Think about that. So we'll keep a close eye on this trend line, and let's hope that it holds, continues to hold, and we should be able to see us reapproach this upper limit. And it's not going to take that much more. We've actually broken through it quite a number of times. We just can't maintain ourselves above that level. But we're running out of space here. And if we happen to break this upper trend line and head down, that is a possibility. But generally speaking, in these kinds of environments, it's the upper trend line that we've been bouncing off this entire time. It's basically weakening that line. Whereas this trend line has just been providing support. This is a floor. You can think about this trend line as pushing harder against that ceiling. And I suspect it's only going to take a few more days and we could find ourselves breaking through that. So what does this mean for the miners? Well, as we've seen, in particularly in Mara, the one that seems to be shining the brightest right now, there just seems to be too many good things finally going its way. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they were aggressive in the beginning, growing the fastest. They're finally starting to get recognized for this. They have the most Bitcoin on their balance sheet. They made the strategic move to purchase that Bitcoin when it was only $31,000 per coin. By the time we break through this ceiling, that purchase would have already gained 100%. Here on the chart of Mara, we can actually see that Mara actually bounced off pretty well off the top of this regression channel. We've been trading quite nicely in this channel ever since November, when these stocks really started to move. But where we are right now, I think, is akin to here in the last cycle. We had approached the top of that channel. We had a very brief pullback and then a surge where we actually broke out before falling back down again. I think we're looking at a move similar to this time around, which could take us up to levels of approximately maybe $65, maybe even as much as $70. So if you're looking for my price target for Mara specifically, that's where I'd put it, between $65 and $70. And this could happen quite quickly, potentially within the next couple of weeks, maybe the end of April. If you're wondering, will I sell my shares if that happens? The answer is no. I have a different plan this time around. I will not be selling any shares. I am going to be looking at selling covered calls once we approach those price levels. And if it doesn't happen this time around, it'll happen eventually. And the prices we reach by the time this scenario plays itself out, where we actually extend beyond the limits of this channel, then the odds are in your favor and you're able to hold on for those opportunities. Those are the only opportunities that I'm interested in taking advantage of. I don't really care about catching tops like these. The ones I want are these. That's when I'm interested in timing the market, but not with the shares, using options. And I will do a video where I cover those plays. So if you're in Mara and you've been feeling the burn, just realize that this is not out of the ordinary. It's actually very healthy. It still sucks, let's face it. Yeah, it'd be great to have been able to time a move like that, but not at the expense of missing out on what is definitely coming next. The nice thing about just not selling is that you don't have to time it. You don't have to worry about being left out when something moves overnight or over the weekend. You're always in, so it doesn't matter. You're going to participate. But that's all I got for this one. Just wanted to do a quick update on that. I know that whenever things get a little dicey out there, people tend to enjoy these videos, gives them a little bit of reassurance, maybe helps you sleep a little better at night. If this is something that helps you, I'm happy to oblige. But that's all for this one. Now let's get back to empire building.